Shalom, all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Harakah Kadash, the honors to the elder apostles, great most honorable well. Shalom to the brothers in the work, Syrian truth. Yeah, just kind of wanted to touch on, Jake, how, and really it's a black woman thing, but all these, modern so-called black issues, these BLMs and whatnot, are primarily, black female, black women led movements, because they're the head of the so-called black community, the Jake community, the worldly, Judah. So the world community is gonna be all female centric, gynocentric. So you have a lot of them losing their mind because of what's it called, you know, DJ Trump being back in, and there was as well. There was a thingy, the news story of saying like black Americans were getting sent messages about reporting to the plantation, and obviously you have Jake in despair over these things like which is all that in reality Joe Biden or Kamala Harris or whoever being in power shouldn't have been these things shouldn't have been enough to make you think, oh nah, I'm good, I'm covered. But that's how Jake is. They get a little ease, a little they get dangled a few dregs, a few coins, and then they'll think they're at ease. They'll think life's good. But Micah 2:10 it says, "Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It will destroy you, even with a sore destruction." And yeah, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. That's the reality of what the dynamic is. This isn't our rest. We've basically been placed there to to suffer, and with a job to do. I mean, those are the elect anyway. Have been given a role by which to push out this word, to push these prophecies. For the purpose of bringing forward, the destruction of this place, and magnifying the name of Yahweh, the name of His Son, Yahweh Shai, and Israel and these prophecies, and then seeing them fulfilled. This is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction. And yeah, it's polluted. This place is not somewhere we're meant to be at ease. We're meant to be what do you call it? At rest. Now it's like, oh, Trump got in office, then they're like, oh, being black in America expert. Well, before when he was in there, and even when he wasn't in there, it was that's just not a mystery. There's a clip of just in the mainstream of what's his name, of Kanye West saying, oh, Bush don't care about black people. But you damn right. Why would he? But that's these are things that Jake, and really like Obama, Obeezy is the big one that lulled a lot of Jake, put them in that completely stupor state, that especially in the States, and that was something that impacted even globally. Because funny, like people were posting memes online, especially from when they were trying to push Kamala. There was like people referencing the Boondocks episode about Obama, which I think was done in the midst of his second term or something, where it kind of either it was, I can't remember when it was in the midst of his second term at least, because they kind of did a flashback to how people were losing their minds in 2008. Like, oh my God, if you know, if there's a black president, and blah blah blah, and America's gonna be thingy, and you know, white people are gonna be slaves, and blah blah. But then, you know, then it's flash. It starts with that, like the build up of how people are losing their minds. Then fast forwards to you know, to the midst of it and how fucking nothing changed. You know, he was, you know, yet another figurehead there, an extension of you know, the desires and the goals of the elite. That's really the job that he's, you know, was given and he was doing. His job was just to fulfill the desires of the elites, which he succeeded at. Like that, you know, the drone strike numbers always the ones to kind of look at, which were fucking insane underneath him. Okay, Revelation 11:8, it says, "And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. And they of the people and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves." And yeah, their dead bodies, the Israelites being in that dead state, being that destroyed state, they were basically what in that destroyed state, they were in that hardcore captivity, not even knowing who they were, you know, going from Israelites to just being blacks, whatever the hell a black is. And then, you know, underneath that, all the nations basically saw it. It was just like, they were just like, well, yeah, keep them in that destroyed state. It says what? "And they shall dwell, and they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them and make merry, and shall send gifts one to another, because these two prophets tormented them that dwell on the earth." So yeah, you know, Judah and Ephraim, the northern and southern kingdom, they'll suffer them. They'll basically, you know, celebrate and make merry over it. Why? Because Israel's presence always is a thorn in the sides of primarily Esau, because Esau is the number one opposition to Israel. But then what's it called? Number one opposition to Israel. But then all the other nations as well, they're also consenting to and desirous of what? Keeping Jake in that destroyed state. And that's been the relationship from the start. That's not something that's changed. It's not something new. But then people in the world, well, Jake now, they're basically, you know, having that so-called equality or whatever, has man dreaming that, like, oh, you know, no, we can have a place. Really, it's what? Desirous of a place within Israel. Within Israel, within the world. They're desirous of some kind of role, some kind of place within the world, which, you know, it's gonna come as a shock that, you know, as I said, this ain't our rest. There's no spot here for us. Just as, you know, previous times the nations didn't love us, even after they still don't. You know, man said, oh, Obama, Obeezy. They're looking at Obeezy. Think, you know, you get like a black prime minister or a black Bond or some shit over here. And then it's going to be like, yeah, now black people are loved. Come on, man. Ecclesiastes 12:1, it says, remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. And yeah, that's really what, you know, Jake's meant to be about. It's only going to be the elect that are about that. Because why? Remember now the creator. Because that's, you know, that's the role, that's the job Israel's meant to have in this world currently. But then what? People are now thinking, oh, Esau's the creator. They're thinking of the what, you know, Babylon the Great. That's what they want to, you know, to partake in. They want to be have a role within this place. But then, hunting for that, fiending for that, that's going to be to their own destruction. Because why? What's getting ready to go down doesn't even matter what president's in charge. Those prophecies are going to be fulfilled. They're going to be pushed forward. And then what? When the judgments start taking place, then you're going to, being a citizen of America or Britain or wherever, those things are going to become irrelevant. Because it's going to come down to, do you know the scriptures? Do you know the prophecies? Do you know you're Israelite? Do you know the role you have to play in the times to come? And then do you know, what's required of you? And the name to call on, to even be saved. Those things. Revelation 3:10, it says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world, to try them that dwell upon the earth. Behold, I come, the hour of temptation. When that starts hitting, then wagwan. That's when it's going to become a reality for a lot of people, when the hour of temptation kicks in. And then they're like, wait, hold on. Those guys will talk, because what's been the topic really for like a long while, at least the last 10 years, it's been repeatedly hammered in. The mark, that Karagma, that MOTB, that's been a focal point, that's been a discrepancy point, a discussion point, a point of contention between, GMS, other groups, even Christians in the world, people in the world. That's been a big discrepancy point, not discrepancy, point of contention, point of disagreement that has existed for a lot of these people. Why? Because that's going to be a focal point. That's what everyone's going to have to contend with. Everyone's going to be drawn in by that that mark. That's going to be where everyone kind of gets okay, well, we'll see. Really, for the elect, really among Israel, to separate, those that are marking themselves for destruction, and then those that won't. But then the whole world as well. Behold, I come quickly. Hold fast that which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. And that's why it's like you're meant to hold fast to what? To these scriptures. That's what you're meant to be holding fast to the end. You're meant to know and internalize these scriptures so that, when these things come to pass, it's not just going to be like, oh, all of a sudden, you're taking the mark because you didn't know. Whether you just like, it feels like, well, I didn't know it was that. Well, that, they ain't going to save you. Anyone that takes it, you should already, it's plain what the judgment is. You should already know. But 1 Peter 4:17 says, for the time has come that judgment must begin at the house of the Most High. And if it first begin at us, what shall be the end of them that obey not the gospel of the Most High? And that's how cold it is. The judgment's going to begin at the house of the Most High, the house of Israel. That's where it's going to start. That's where it's going to be hot. And a lot of people aren't prepared. They're not in a mindset where they're thinking like, oh, okay, X, Y, Z. They're just like, oh, well, have a very simple-minded approach. But that's the thing is, as soon as it becomes a reality, that's why it's like, your reaction is like, oh no, Donald Trump, rah. You're losing your mind over that. That's, the carnal things that are happening. But then you don't even realize you've been in, the midst of prophecies being fulfilled for a hot minute, for long enough to where you should have been like, damn, now what is actually going on here? But that's, that's going to be made a reality swiftly. People are really going to feel it. Trump might be used to push some of these things forward, just like, Biden was used. Underneath him, significant strides were made, man. Humongous fucking strides when you think about it. Even the entire political situation as well in the US, that feeds into things in the US and globally. That's switched up kind of how people, view and observe these things. And then going forward, everything's going to get more and more polarized, more extreme. But I'll leave it there. Shalom. Yabashim Shabashim Bakar Shalom.